Today's video is on adding integers. When you're adding integers, you have to pay attention to the two numbers that you're adding. Do both of the numbers have the same sign, or do they have different signs? What I mean by that is, are both of the numbers that you're adding positive, or are both of them negative, or do you have one that's positive and one that's negative? First, let's take a look at what you do if the two numbers that you're adding have the same sign. And what I want to stress is this only works for addition problems. If the two numbers that you're adding have the same sign, what you'll do is combine. And what I mean by combine is you will add the numbers together. So take a look at the first example. We have 10 plus 5. 10 is positive, 5 is positive, so they have the same sign. So we combine them together. 10 plus 5 would be 15. Here we have negative 10 plus negative 5. They're both negative numbers, so again we combine them together. So negative 10 plus negative 5, or you could think of it as having 10 negatives and 5 negatives. How many negatives do you have altogether? 15, and because both of them are negative, it's negative 15. Now, if you have a problem where the two numbers that you're adding have different signs, what you'll do then is find the difference. And remember, difference in math means to subtract. Here we have negative 10 plus 5. 10 is negative, 5 is positive. So we know that they have different signs, so we'll need to find the difference. Once I know that, what I'll do is ignore the signs. Okay, I have a 10 and I have a 5. I need to subtract those two numbers. So 10 minus 5 would be 5. But I don't know yet if that number is positive or negative. So now, to figure that out, I look at the two numbers. Again, I'm still ignoring the signs. I'm just looking at 10 and 5. To figure out whether this should be positive or negative, you figure out which number is larger. 10 is larger than 5. So whatever sign 10 has, that's going to win, and that will be what my answer has. So now 10 has a negative with it, so my answer will actually be negative 5. Take a look at another example like that. Here we have 10 plus negative 5. 10 is positive, 5 is negative, so they're different signs. So I know I need to subtract, so I'm going to ignore the signs now. 10 minus 5 would give me 5. But I have to figure out whether it should be positive or negative. So ignoring the signs, which number is bigger, 10 or 5? Obviously 10 is larger. So I look at the sign in front of the 10. It's positive because there's nothing there. So that means my answer will be positive 5. Alright, that's all for adding integers. So now let's work on subtracting integers. Remember that those tricks that I just taught you only work when you are adding the numbers together. So what happens when you have a subtraction problem? Well, what's neat is we can actually change every subtraction problem to an addition problem by following this one trick. Same, add, opposite. Once you've changed the problem to addition, now you can use those same two tricks that I taught you. Same sign combine, and different signs find the difference. But we have to change it before we can use the tricks. So let me show you how to change a problem from subtraction to addition. Here we have 10 minus negative 5. Since this is a subtraction problem, I need to change it to addition in order to use my shortcuts. So the way it works is this same refers to the first number. That number is going to stay the same. Add means that you're going to change the subtraction to addition. But you're not done yet because you have to take the opposite of that final number. So because this is a negative 5, I will change it to a positive 5. So what I have is 10 plus 5, I don't have to write the other plus sign because it's implied that it's a positive number, so I just have 10 plus 5. Now I can follow the rules from before because it's addition. Do we have the same sign or do we have different signs? 10 is positive, 5 is positive, so I need to combine. So 10 plus 5 would be 15, and because they were both positive when I changed it, it's a positive 15. Now in negative 10 minus 5, we'll follow that same shortcut because we have a subtraction problem here. So change it to addition by keeping the first number the same. Change the subtraction to addition, and then you have to take the opposite of that final number. Since this was a positive 5, it's now negative. So I have negative 10 plus negative 5. 10 is negative, 5 is negative, so obviously these two numbers have the same sign, so we need to combine them. So 10 plus 5 would be 15, and because they're both negative, my answer is negative 15. Okay, in this example here we have negative 10 minus negative 5. Subtraction problem, so I need to change it in order to use the tricks. So I will keep the first number the same, that'll stay as a negative 10. My subtraction will change to addition, and I need the opposite of negative 5, which is positive 5. So I have negative 10 plus 5. Now, do these two numbers have the same sign, or do they have different signs? We have a negative 10 and a positive 5. They have different signs, so we need to find the difference. So I ignore the two signs just like before. I have a 10 and a 5. I'll subtract them. That gives me 5. But since 10 is larger than 5 and 10 has a negative sign with it, that means that my answer is negative 5. And for the final example here, we have 10 minus 5. Obviously, you can do this without changing it, but I want to prove to you that it works. So we keep that first number the same. That stays as a 10. We change our subtraction to addition. And we change the positive 5 to a negative 5. So I have 10 plus negative 5. Do these have the same sign or different signs? 10 is positive, 5 is negative, so we need to find the difference. So 10 minus 5 would be 5. And 10 is the larger number and it's positive, so my answer is positive 5. That's all for adding and subtracting integers. Bye, guys.